Hello everyone, I am jamming in my jammies, or to make it more simplistic, my name is Jordan, and today I'm going to be working on a cover and showing my process of arranging it. I always start out, I'm in a program called Guitar Pro. This is Guitar Pro 5, which is just the version I choose to use. Some of the other ones I don't like the UI as much. Anyway, I'm going to be arranging a song, and I guess I'm going to use this also as my 100 sub video, which will probably be in the next 8-9 months, but this will be ready for just that occasion. So anyway, here we go. Before I start working on any cover, the first thing I do is I find a MIDI for it. I usually use a site like MuseScore or Kingdom Hearts Insider, VG Music, anything like that. The particular one I'm using is actually from MuseScore. It is from someone named Kurgius, and one of the cool things about Guitar Pro is you can actually import MIDIs into it. I will show you. Like this. And here is the MIDI. I went ahead and put Kurgius' name on there for the sake of how to spell it if anybody wants to look him up. I'm a strong supporter in giving credit where credit is due. So here's the song. I'm actually going to bring this up. The way that this person wrote it is a 2-part piano piece. There's that and that. If you're not familiar with the song, the beginning basically is this. Here's the other. Which, yeah, cool. But this is our cover. I want to make an example out of this being our cover, so we're not even going to start it with the beginning. We're not going to start with this part. I want to start with this part. So cool. Before we start this, though, let's talk about, I guess, the theory behind it, but I'm going to use a bit of a mixture here of hybrid theory, quote-unquote. I am not classically trained. Most of my music knowledge is all self-taught. With the example of a piano course I took in college, and when I played trumpet in 5th grade. So I don't have an ultra amount of classical knowledge. But I also don't want to ostracize people that don't know any theory. So I'm going to try and describe this as best as I possibly can, at least in my own head. I don't know how it'll be for everyone else, but in my head, hopefully it'll make sense. So I'm just going to grab all of this. Just the melody, not the harmony. And we're going to open my... There we go. We're going to throw this in here. This is going to be the opening of our song. So, first things first, we're going to find out what our tempo was. 160. And that's fine. A lot of times I will actually go and listen to a song and play whenever I finish the song, play it alongside it to make sure it all matches up to the original, unless I want it to be faster. I've done that a few times as well, but for the sake of this and simplicity, we're going to keep it like that. Alright, so before we start working or writing anything, let's find out what scale we are in. Now, that can be really intimidating, and that's actually one of the reasons I love Guitar Pro, which it sounds like I'm doing an ad, but I promise I'm not. Nobody would watch enough of this for me to ever do an ad, especially since, again, this would be my 100 subscriber video, which for a lot of people, yeah, that's not a huge milestone, but for me, it means I get a custom URL, which is cool, and I'm happy with that, so, yeah. Alright, so we want to find out what scale we are in. I can tell you now we are in the scale of B, but hypothetically we don't know that. Or G sharp minor to be specific. So we are in B major or G sharp minor because that is B's relative minor. I will explain that in a second for people that don't know, I promise. Scale finder. So what we have here, well, it's exactly what it looks like. It's going to find what scale we are in. The first thing here is just the name of the scale. The second thing is the number of inconsistencies with said scale. So what that means is, I'll go down to one with actual numbers. Alright, say hypothetically we wanted to use the F Spanish 8-tone scale. I know, very popular in modern metal. But unfortunately we couldn't because 4 of the notes here in this are not part of that scale. So it'd be better not to go with that. Now, sure, we could go with the F-sharp bebop scale, but I prefer sticking with majors and minors. So we've got here the G-sharp minor scale, which is the relative minor to B major, because if you look at these are all the notes that make up that scale, by the way. If you go to the B major, it's all the same notes that are in them. So that is why it's relative. B major just starts here, where G-sharp minor starts here. Every major key has a minor or a relative minor. So there you go. Hopefully that makes sense. If not, don't worry about it. We just know what scale we're in now. So I'm actually going to bring this up so you can see what I'm doing here. This is actually the bottom of the screen. You just can't see the rest of it because I have a lot of it cut off because I want to make sure that this is all visible. Alright, so for some reason it keeps closing on me, so I just decided to go ahead and fill everything out now. So we've got my steel and nylon string guitars. I have both of those tuned to E, standard tuning. There you go. Then I have my lead guitar, which is my Purple Jackson. I have that tuned to drop D. The only reason for that being that it's got a Floyd Rose tailpiece on it, so where I have it tuned, it's locked. So it's the same as standard, I just have the E tuned to D. Then my rhythm guitar, I have tuned 2 full steps down to C. And 2 full steps just being, each note over is a half step, so 1, 2, 3, 4 half steps, which would be, in terms of whole steps, 1, 2. So C is 2 steps down. Ta-da! Music theory, simple. I have a guitar by me. I don't have it plugged in or anything, so you might not hear it, and for the most part I'll probably cut out where I'm working on it. But I've always got a guitar with me whenever I'm writing these, because obviously I want to make sure it all fits well to how I play, and everything's the way I want. And I'm going to change things up. I mean, yeah, I've got a good starting point with the Kyrgyz's Midi, but I'm going to change things up and make it my own. So first thing, I'm going to start taking out these root notes, or basically just the lower notes. I'm going to make everything be one note. And then I'm going to just write this so it will be playable on my guitar. While I do such a thing, I might as well also answer some questions that I've got open on the side. So first question I got is, can I use your song in my video? That's actually a thing I've gotten a few times, people wanting to know if they can use my covers. Sure. I don't own the rights to the music. I mean, it's my arrangement, quote unquote, but I don't own the original song, so it would be weird of me to use their music without permission and then tell you can't use mine. I would, however, say please don't monetize it, not for my sake, but because, again, I don't have the licensing, and unless you pay the licensing for it, you won't be able, or you might get in trouble legally with the company, so I'd rather people not get in trouble for that. But can you use my covers? Sure, I do not mind. Do I accept cover requests? Yes I do. As long as it's something that I enjoy. I'm very particular about the songs I cover. I've got a very large list of songs I would like to cover, but at the same time, a lot of times I don't feel like doing that one at that time. It's got to be the right time, that type of deal. So this just happens to be another Castle Crashers one. I did one a good while back, probably a year or two ago, and it felt like it was time to do another one, so here we are. Alright, so now this is set up the way I want. This is our opening to our song. It's just going to be the steel guitar doing that. We're going to have a nylon do the rhythm that I will double track whenever I do it. So I'm just going to record the same part twice. So, going back to Kyrgyz's track, what do we got? This part has... Yeah. So we're working with a few things here. He's got a couple chords here and then not. What this might be, the reason this looks like this might be because this should be a treble clef, so it'll look like a bass tuning, and this just isn't deep enough to show the rest of the notes. I think that's what happened here, why certain things are cut off. But I can see what I need to see. This is in G sharp. This is, or the individual notes. You got G sharp, B, G. Okay, so basically we're just going to stay in scale. That's what we're going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and assume this is audible. It very well should be. But what I'm going to do real quick, just to give an idea of how I sometimes go about this, I'm just going to stay in the scale. So, our starting note is G sharp, because we are in G sharp minor. But I'm going to play it in chords, because I like chords. We got... Yeah, we're going to go minor. And I might just do that, just follow chords with it. So what do we got next after that? E. We can do that. And D sharp. No, I don't want to do that. We could just go something like that. Hang on, let's see what we got. Okay, we need one change there because of that note. So let's... There we go. And then it repeats. Yeah, other than it doesn't have this note, it repeats. So now I'm just going to go ahead and arpeggiate it. So instead of it being a chord like, you got to make it sound more instead of just a pretty flow. Try and make it seem like you're more impressive by doing the, that type of deal. So Guitar Pro has a metronome on it, actually 2 different types, which is great. It's got the normal metronome, which is, this. And it's got the startup metronome, which is counts down before you start. Because we're in 8/4 time for this, it's going to, of course, be 8 clicks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then the song will start. So I'm going to play along with that in our arpeggiated fashion, and hope it works. Major, sorry. Alright, cool, it worked. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, if you don't have any knowledge of music theory, you're like, Jordan, or jamming in my jammies, or whatever you choose to call me. What sort of magic musical theory did you use for that? Explain your knowledge to me. And that's a little trick I like to call what sounds cool. There's no knowledge behind it. It's just in my mind. It sounded neat, so I did it. If that's the type of music theory you're signing up for, then welcome to class. What a beautiful intro. All right, so that's that. Song's done. Now we can upload it. No, we're going to do that, and now we're going to move on to the next part of the song. All right, so this is our next section. We are going to jump straight into the lead guitars with this. The distorted guitars with this, because it's gonna be cool, I promise, hopefully. That's the thing with this, because this video is going to come out probably, again, months after, actually, wait, no, you know what, we're not gonna jump into this yet. We want to showcase this cool part again, but in leads, or in distortions. I don't know why I keep saying leads. Sorry, not yet. But yeah, you guys will get to see my writing process and how it sounds so much better before I start recording it. Then you can go and listen to my cover and realize, oh, so the song wasn't bad. Or as bad. I mean, of course, the original is fantastic. I love the Castle Crasher soundtrack. But you'll be like, oh, wow, this was arranged a whole lot better than it was recorded. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and change these to... All the leads I switch to overdriven, and all of the rhythms the one rhythm I switch to distortion. That's just a little bit of a differentiation thing for me. And people, if you want to screw around with different things, you've got all kinds of stuff. You got synth pads, all kinds of, reeds, brass, ensemble's voice, basically anything you'd find on like an old keyboard. And we're not going to do this. We're going to harmonize this. That's what we're going to do. So... Now, I'm going to tell you my magic trick of harmonizing, which is always start how I started. I know a lot of people do fifths or whatever. I start with harmonizing in thirds. What does that mean, Jordan? That's so confusing and complex. No, it's not, I promise. Here's the note, right? It's right here. Here's the notes that are in the scale. D, E, F sharp, G sharp, etc. So we're at D sharp. We're going to harmonize in a third. That means D sharp, E, F sharp. That's 1, 2, 3. It's now a third. So let's hear these 2 notes together, this 8 and that 11. That sounds pretty alright. I guess that means they're harmonized now. Let's make sure, though, by putting a couple more. Well, that's alright. But you know what? I think it would sound a whole lot better if we harmonized it the other way. So I'm going to repaste them. See, because this we have the original. This we have this one. And we're going to go backwards 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And we got this. Yeah, see, that sounds pretty cool. So let's go ahead and just do that for the rest of this. And that should be about that. So now we're just going to go ahead and get the rhythm part done. So we're going to use the exact same notes, in terms of the root. So G sharp, the first note of each one. E, B, C sharp, and as a half, and then D sharp. And we're just going to make everything here whole notes. In fact, we might even make it whole... Yeah, no, we're going to make it whole notes. I'm just typing everything on the number pad because I know what the notes are. If that make, like I know where G sharp is, I know where E is, etc., etc. Yeah! Going to utilize the fact I'm in drop C to really make that, instead of going up to sorry. Instead of going to... Oh, it was C sharp. Yeah, C sharp. Instead of going here, I want to use this. And then everything again. I don't want the rhythms to be too complex here. Not for like, oh, it's a... But I want the focus to be on the harmony and the transition between the acoustics to the electrics. Alright, so this part was a little weird. Right? Like, it's not just me. Alright, what if we do this? I'm gonna bring... Hang on. There you go, I prefer that. I changed it here and didn't change it here. Or here, but I'll worry about that in a second. I feel like the speed is the only issue here, so if I make both of these half notes and did this, this should work. Oh, wait. Before I do, I need to do it for the other one as well. There. Oh, wait, I went back up. Let's see. So, well, I went back up to 6 with this one, right? So we're gonna go back, or we're gonna go back to 3 with this one. Yeah, see? Perfect. Now, that was all fine and dandy, but let's say we don't want to just stick to thirds. Let's say we want to play around with like fifths, or even, you know, the odd fourth. We're going to find out what sounds the best for each part. I liked this all the way through, but the second part, let's get a little bit more creative. We're going to leave the original the same. The part that the steel guitar played, we're going to have the electric do the exact same thing. My reason being because, again, I really want to emphasize on it was just the transition over, but then I want the harmony to do some neat stuff. So like that could go up. Instead of having this go here, what is the note? We're playing at E. So let's just bring it up to, instead of going down 3, we'll bring it up 3. So G sharp, we'll try that. So again, we're still harmonizing in a third, it's just the opposite way. Yeah! Okay. So this is why I always love arranging. Arranging is one of my favorite things to do, besides actually playing the tracks. Because I do get legitimately excited whenever I'm working on it. Plus, it's all really therapeutic. It takes a lot of thought, and when I play guitar, it's very easy to just start thinking of other things and getting myself sidetracked. This keeps my attention, so whenever things are negative, I can definitely keep myself entertained with this. So we're going to go ahead and bring these up as well, because now it doesn't sound right at all, right? So, what do we have? 7.5. We're going to have to bring these back up. And then I'll probably answer some more questions here in a bit. A sharp. And, G sharp. Sorry. We could bring that up too. So let's say we don't want to work in a third. We want to go in a fifth, right? So our original note again was E, I believe. Yes. So it was E. So we're going to go up 5 instead of 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to be on a B, which is right here. Will it work? We'll find out. Yeah, no, it's cool. Now we're just going to bring all this stuff up again. So I'm actually going to take all of these notes. There we go. I put it back to its original so I can bring all of these up 3 instead of down 3. Yeah, that one didn't sound good on 3, right? So let's see. Because for playability's sake also, I want to put this, oops, hang on. Put this up here. We'll put it at a 5th as well. We'll see what happens. I didn't like that. So here's one of those times we get to go with the rare fourth. See how that goes. Yeah, that was pretty, but ooh, I didn't like that. Wait, did I not bring these ones up? No, I did not. Oh wait, no, I did already. Alright then, we'll bring this up to a fifth. Let's see. So we're going to go up. We're at a third already. We're going to go up to a fifth, so fourth, fifth, which is G sharp. We're going to make it that and see how that sounds. Alright, I do like that. I'm going to go ahead and bring this up to here, though. Again, for playability's sake. Seems like for the most part my hand is between, other than like here, it's between 3 and, or, well, 2 and 7. So I don't need to go up to 9 if we don't have to. And then last but not least, we got this, which sounded bad, so we're going to bring that up a fifth as well to A sharp. Hey, see? It sounds good. There we go. Let's hear this whole thing, and then we're going to go ahead and put in the next part. Yeah, but Jordan, you didn't add the bass and the drums. Well, that's right, I sure didn't, and I'm not going to until the end. Right now, I'm just worried about the actual arrangement in terms of the main melody and just the accompanying rhythm guitars. So next, we're going to go back to Kyrgyz's set, and now we're going to grab this part. I know, we were all so excited. I'm going to keep all of these notes. I'm going to make the lead guitar take the... Actually, am I going to do it that way? No, yeah, I am. I was curious if I was going to do a harmony here with these, but I don't need to. The single notes like this, I'll just keep on the main rhythm, and then the extra 2 sets of notes I will make be harmonies again. So, for the most part, I'm probably just going to cut out all of the... Okay, because it's going to start here, I think I'm going to make the middle track be the lead. So it's going to be like this. Right? So it'll be... And then the other parts that I had that I cut off already are going to be on the harmony. So I'm going to go ahead and just fill all of that out and change the guitar parts to fit how I'd play it, and then we'll be back. Yeah, that sounds fine. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and start working on a rhythm part for that. So we're gonna follow this pattern, right? Of G sharp, F sharp, D sharp, E. We kind of sped things up, right? Because the opening was whole notes. But then we have this. So I'll probably put a cool little drum fill in here to really emphasize where we're going next, and that's speeding everything up. So we're gonna use the same notes again, starting with G sharp. And I believe F sharp is where it went next. In fact, I think for the most part it went just straight down the scale. But we're going to speed these up. So we're going to get rid of the stupid dot. We're just going to make all these eighth notes. That's what we're going to do. So I haven't done anything ridiculous. I've just made everything eighth notes. Ugh, needs a... There we go. Maybe that. Yeah, there we go. And I'm going to palm mute these. This is just a stylistic choice. There's no theory behind it. Just I know I'm going to palm mute whenever I play that naturally. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. It went... Where did it go from there? Up to G? Yeah, I want to do something that... Which is... What notes? I know they didn't actually do anything with it, but I want something like that. So D sharp, F sharp, and G sharp. Yeah, I don't want to do like a little triplet section there, or a bunch of hammer-ons, so I might just go like from the first to the last. Maybe to F sharp instead? Yeah, sounds good. So, how long does it take for you to record / practice a cover? The entire process for me is I can generally do everything within a 24-hour window. The part that takes the longest is actually recording it. Not the audio recording, but the video recording. I have a weird setup with that. But I will explain that in a bit whenever I have more time to think about what I'm working on here. Eighth notes for everything. But yeah, so I would say everything's within about a 24-hour window. The arrangements, as you see, go pretty quick. I mean, it's taking longer for this because I'm trying to explain everything in a way that somewhat makes sense. I don't sound entirely insane. Oh, that wasn't right. We'll just cut this off. Cool. Duh. That's not right. In terms of practicing it, because I write it out on this and I kind of go through it, I don't really do much practicing. I mean, in terms of guitar, I practice that hours and hours a day, which I know does not show. That's okay, though. I admit that. And I've been doing that for freaking 15 years. But anyway, I play along with this whenever I'm working on it, and then I have this as like my visual guide whenever I do my recording. So I just sight read the whole thing that I wrote, and then by the time I'm done with it, I generally know how to play it, so then I do my video, which I do after recording the audio, because doing it at the same time is way too stressful for me. Oh, another... sorry. No, that's a bit much. And that didn't sound right. So, do we have anything that goes up here? Not really. So let's just make it... well, actually here, let's see what we do here. No, he didn't do anything. Okay. That means we get to play around and do what we want to do. So I'm going to... we're going to bring it up a fifth. So, third, fourth, fifth, A sharp. And... no, wait. Because we're going from... oh, well, actually, this might sound better. All right, so this... you know what? I know what we can do, because this doesn't really work. We're going to unpalm mute this one, right? And we're going to use that to go into the next part. So it'll be like 4, and then de. Okay, no, it needs to go higher. We'll just bring it all up one string and see how that works. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Right? And then find out real quick what the third one does. I think I answered the rest of the question of how long does it take. Basically, it takes within 24 hours. I think the arrangements generally take, I don't know, an hour or so. And then recording, it depends, of course, on the track of how hard it is. Setting up my camera and recording, because it doesn't work with Windows 10. It's a Canon T3, I believe, by Rebel. It doesn't work with Windows 10, so I have to use a really old laptop that's really slow and aged, and so it takes a while, and it doesn't have autofocus or anything like that, so I have to manually adjust all of the... so that takes a bit. That's the part that takes the longest. Then the video editing, which I've always enjoyed editing, so I get to that pretty quick. D. So notice, we're leaving the scale a little bit here, because G, that's not in the notes. That's weird. It's I guess that's why it's a theory, but that's okay. You can do that. You can leave the thing. Don't feel like you're obligated to stay in your scale. If it sounds cooler without being in the scale, you do that crap, because this is art. Music is art. If you follow everything blindly by a rule, then it's no longer art. Unless you're following me saying that, in which case that's me telling you a rule. So I guess that's kind of contradictory. Do as I do, and also as I say. Let's bring it down a third. Thirds are always my favorite. It's very very modern metal to harmonize, harmonize in thirds. So I'm just gonna try that. Cool, perfect, it fit. I just don't want to extend too far. Well, look, this is working with C sharp. So dun 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 dun. Maybe if I just keep it all on that, right? Yeah, maybe, hopefully. Again, this part might not make any sense to anybody except for myself. In my mind, it makes sense. I'm using, again, my favorite piece of music theory, which is what sounds cool in my head. And I want to really utilize these lower notes because I've got the power, so why not? Yeah, see? Dun 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 dun. So it goes up maybe a step. Just gotta hold that. A dot. Cool. And did we have anything to work with that? The doo-doo. D sharp, G sharp. It needs to be higher. We'll try this. We might have to lose the scale again. Hey, there we go. Alright, so now we're going to be getting to the next part of the song, alright? So let's see what we got. Alright, so the next question that I am commonly asked is, why don't I use a real drummer? There's a lot of reasons for that. First and foremost, it's so much easier for me to do everything by myself, and I don't play the drums. If I did, it would take a long time because I'd have to worry about miking the drums and playing the parts, etc., etc. I do write all my own drum parts. I write all that stuff out, but it'd be so much harder, and I'd also have to rely on somebody else to get everything done. If I had somebody that, you know, I regularly worked with, that would be cool, with like a regular setup for it. But yeah, it's so much easier just to do it myself, and stuff like Superior Drummer sounds great as is. I mean, it is samples recorded with actual drums, so at the end of the day, it is a real drum, just a little bit more artificial, because it's real drums being thrown in whenever it works best, I guess. We're definitely not going to do that with the rhythm, but we are going to play with this part. Is this... Alright, we're going to grab these four then. Oops. Yep, I just missed everything, don't mind me. Just throw all that right here on lead 2, because we'll be using this as a kind of a transition point for whenever I record, to remind me not to just try and flow through and do the whole thing. Oh, because it's in drop D, these notes are all off. That's fine, we will switch that up. Plus, I'm actually going to bring everything up to... Again, we're going to use the middle for the lead. I'm going to use the upper... So I'm going to use these notes for the lead, and the solo notes for the lead. And then I'm going to take the high notes for the left harmony and the lowest notes for the right harmony. Now, because this is up here, we're going to bring everything up to match that, but also because I want a stronger rhythm under here than just the beep, beep, beep that they had going on. So I'm going to go ahead and start doing that. Do you have tabs? Yes, I do. I have tabs for all of my songs because because I write all of these out like this. So yes, I do for all of them. And actually, if people ask, I generally give a link to it in the description of the song. So yes, all of them have tabs. People just have to ask for the individual ones if they want it. What is wrong with your vibrato? I'm assuming people aren't talking about my amazing singing voice, which there's a reason you don't hear on the channel. The same reason whenever you hear me kind of, you know, think of the note, you hear me just go like, ah, because I have no grasp on singing, which is a shame because I would love to be able to sing. I've always wished I could sing. I've practiced a lot. It's just, it's a bit much. But anyway, yeah, the way of vibrato. I've always been a rhythm guitarist. I played a lot of, you know, like bands I've been in. I've done like a lot of power metal stuff, and I'd always do like the quick, just constant 16th notes at 200 beats per minute or whatever. And that's like a majority of my, other than I will add harmonies and stuff like that. So I'll do like harmony guitars and things. But in terms of just full lead, until lately, well, I guess with this group, this thing as well, but until recent bands, I never was a lead guitarist. I never wanted to be a lead guitarist. I've always loved playing harmony bits, which is why a lot of times a lot of my leads, other than harmonies, will stay the same, because I want to showcase that in the song. I know that's a part people know, but I want to be able to do all my cool whatever I feel like doing with the rhythms. So whenever over the years I've been playing, I guess I just never got around to some of the basics in terms of proper etiquette on playing, if that makes sense. Like I haven't, or not etiquette, but what is the word I'm looking for? I just didn't practice the fundamentals of lead guitar playing. Just accidentally deleted that. So that is the reason why my harmony or my vibratos are so poo-poo, so to speak. Why everybody thinks I've got a bad vibrato. Cool, so I think that's good. Then also a lot of people talk about the way that and actually a lot of people ask about the vibrato thing. Usually they don't be like, why do you suck? Usually people are saying things like, oh, I noticed you do vibrato this way. Maybe try this. And again, it's with me asking for critique, so I appreciate that people do. I don't want anybody to think I'm complaining. I'm very glad that I get this critique. As long as it's honest critique. It's not something just like, you suck. Those are always fun. Gotta do the harmonies now. So I just cut that whole section out. That was a waste of time. The harmonies I wanted to put them in, and I just wasn't a fan of them. I decided I'm going to keep it like this, and I'm actually going to use what we learned from the harmonies to create my rhythm tone, or my rhythm sound for this part. I don't know how much of my question and answer actually made it into the video in terms of what's wrong with my picking hand. But in a nutshell, what I got at was when I was younger, I injured my wrists. Like, you can hear them. And it's just easier for me to hold my wrist the way I do whenever I play, because otherwise it hurts it. And a lot of people think it's going to get like arthritis or carpal tunnel. It's checked. Everything is fine. My wrist it's actually fine to be held that way whenever I play. And then also people talk about the downstroke playing, because if you look, like a lot of the fastest parts I play, I do all downstroke picking. And I mentioned I was in like power metal bands over the years. Let me hear this real quick. All right, I want to try and match these up with the notes. Oh, so I just did this. All right, cool. So, yeah, so I did that, but a lot of my when I was learning guitar, all of my first songs were Metallica. You know, James Hetfield was my hero. I wanted to jam out like freaking James Hetfield. And that was when I was like, I don't know, younger than I am now at least. So however old I was 15 years ago versus now when I'm 27. So like 3 or something. But anyway, yeah, I'm jamming out right hand all downstroke picking. And it wasn't because like, oh, James plays this way, I'm going to do that. That's how I naturally move my hand with it too. Because that was faster for me for the thrashier style of playing. And I mean, as a result, because again, I never practiced on my lead fundamentals, and I focused on rhythms and stuff, that made it where I was really good at downstroke picking. I can play downstroke like really fast. Unfortunately, I'm terrible at alternate picking, and I have trouble just upstroke standard picking. All right, that didn't quite match up like I thought, but I do like it, so I'm going to keep that. Ugh, that didn't work, though. What note change did we have? What note is that? G sharp? Oh, okay. Because I think what this is doing, it's going, again, because the lower parts are cut out, I think it goes doom ding doom ding doom, you know, like it's an octave. So it's probably doing something like let me find an example. Or not an octave, I'm sorry. I apologize. But like a power chord basically. Something like this. Or not. We'll find out. That might sound terrible. It might sound absolutely atrocious. Let me make sure the questions are open. Okay, but yeah, for the most part, that's why my hand is so stupid. Because I hurt my hand as a little boy, and I played a lot of rhythm downstroke playing. Actually, no, that worked. Okay, cool. Again, operation, because it sounds cool or makes sense in my head is the only reason I did that. And it repeats, so we're going to go ahead and just copy and paste. My next question is, my branding of my channel. A lot of people are like, well, actually on Reddit, people have even messaged and been like, this video would be really cool if you weren't wearing pajamas. Or, yeah, what's the deal with the pajamas? Why are you wearing? And again, I guess it makes more sense. I mean, if they looked at the name down there, they'd still see, but they don't see the branding of the channel. which the name Jamming in My Jammies comes from the fact that I would always just, when I get home, the first thing I always do is put on a pair of pajamas because it's more comfortable that way. Whenever I'm out and about, even depending on the temp, it could be 90 degrees with 70% humidity. It can be 30 degrees, whatever. I'm always going to be in a pair of jeans and a t-shirt with, if it's cold, a hoodie over it. That's just how I am. I'm a creature of habit. Anyway, but then I get home and the first thing I do is put on a pair of jammies. So a lot of times people will ask what I'm doing because I'm in my pajamas, and I'll be like, oh, I'm just jamming my jammies. Because it's, I don't know, just a stupid saying, I guess which I guess is kind of common because I found a lot of people apparently use that name for things. But it was just a stupid alliteration I use. It's more an alliteration. What is it whenever it's the same word? Because alliteration would just be like JJJ, but this is jamming in my jammies. Anyway, it's really clever and cool, and you're all jealous you didn't think of it. But no, yeah, so that's just where the name came from, and it gives me an excuse to stay in my pajamas. And then with that, people also asked why I don't have an intro or an outro, or in most cases, tell me I need one. Outro, I'll occasionally kind of throw like my part of my logo or some of my branding up there, made by my good buddy Ricardo. Riconius on YouTube, by the way, if you want to check him out. He does a lot of Kingdom Hearts stuff lately, but he does art and animation and things like that. But yeah, Riconius. I got assets like that I use for an occasional outro type thing if I need it, just like a jump cut or hard cut to something to kind of look neat, or I think it looks more stylistic. Intro I never did, because if it's something that's alone, like a song or something, I want people to be able to hear everything in a playlist. Like if people just listen to my songs all the way through, I don't want it to be interrupted by my intro every time. I don't know, I'm copy pasting this. Whereas I guess I could just do this a second time. What do we do next? So it's like the same thing. So actually the copy paste wasn't a bad call, other than it is higher like I've already got. So that seems a little weird because it's going to now, well, there's not going to be a change. So what does that mean we need to do? Do we need to give up and delete this cover? That's right. That's what we got to, no. We need to, well, I guess we could bring the lead up higher or bring this one down lower. But what I'm going to do is just change up the rhythm. Now, I don't mean change up as in like this is G sharp, now I'm going to play it as E, which shouldn't work anyway. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to change up the speed and stuff. So, I got... So, you know what? I'm just going to use the acoustic again. I'm not going to worry about grabbing the electric behind me. Although I am in a different tuning now. What are we playing? G sharp. So yeah, instead of doing like I was doing, I might just do like a triplet. Maybe backwards, I don't know. We'll figure something out with that. But yeah, so we'll just kind of change it up a little bit, and then maybe go harder with it, or whole notes or something, and slow it down, bring the drums to half step. We'll find, or half speed, we'll find out what we're doing. And I always hate doing these. Whenever it's the splits, for some reason, I always have trouble getting the time right. Like in my head, it makes perfect sense. Actually, that might be perfect. Oops. Yep, that's what I meant to do. Type in a text bubble. Yeah, just make sure to remind myself to get stuff done. I gotta make a grocery list on my Guitar Pro. What was I talking about? Something about... oh yeah, my outro. Right, an intro. Yeah, so... I don't really have... You know what? I'm gonna palm mute all these. I don't have an interest really in having an intro, so to speak, unless it's something kind of over the footage. Like if it's just maybe a keyboard part and I don't feel like doing the video of me playing the piano part, because there's some videos, like the Roxas theme, I start out playing the actual keyboard part rather than VSTing it. Well, I guess it is a VST, it's just a keyboard plugged in through my computer playing a VST, but still counts me playing it. Although it is automated, so it will keep everything in place. So if I messed up, it would, or not messed up, but if my speed wasn't right, it would still fix that for me. So it's kind of cheating, but not 100% cheating. Right? Or do I want to do it yet, or until my second one? You know what? We'll find out. Oops. Yeah, that was what I played last time. Okay. So yeah, the point I was getting at is, no, I'm probably not going to have an intro. Sorry for people that, for whatever reason, want one. I guess because it looks more professional, and I really do, again, appreciate the critique. I'm fine without one. And finally, how many guitars do I have? I believe I have 11 in this room right now. So, and that's over, and some, you know, some of those are like my first guitar, which is a Line. It's $100 thing I got for Christmas, and, you know, cheap, like small, like guitars and things we've got at like yard sales or things like, you know, random things like that we found around. My most expensive being my Jackson RR5. That was like my dream guitar, and that took a while. All right, I kind of want a little bit of a, like a little, I don't know, what am I thinking of? This thing. Something like that, you know? I want something like that to be played here. And I'm not actually sure what the musical term for that is, but basically it's, you keep utilizing the root, but then I'm putting other notes over it, so it'd be like something like that. I know this part's not making any sense whatsoever. It's just what, again, sounds cool in my mind. I'm using this because this would be the, you know, a power chord, which is just note up 1 over 2, power chord. And then from there, I'm just kind of hitting the notes around it, which is just stuff kind of, I guess, from other songs I've played over the years. I've played that way, so it just feels natural to me. Yeah. The other set of notes are 6. We'll try that. Hang on. Now I'm telling you to hold on. Like, look out, guys, we're gonna get attacked. Like, there's a lot of, like, Brennan Small does a lot of stuff like this, like with the Galacticon albums, and Death Clock, he has a few things that do this. Not a bad start. Things go higher. Ew. And now we are all the way around the song, right? Yeah. So now the smart thing to do would be to go back to the part we never included. But I want that to be like a bridge. I don't want that to just be like, oh, there it is. I want this to be something like a lead up to the solo, because I think that'd be cool. So we're going to use the closest thing we have to a chorus, which, this maybe? Yeah, you know what, after listening to all of them, I like this. Well, I don't necessarily like this part the best, but I think this part would fit the best. And that's why, because the da-da, I think, is going to go great into the, well, you know, this bit. And I actually want to use this octave. So I've said octave a few times. I guess I should have also explained that for people who have no idea what I'm talking about. This note's a B. This note is also a B, but higher. One's just higher. That's what an octave is. So I'm going to take these tasty licks. I'm going to plug it in right here, because I'm going to have the lower harmony be on lead 2. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut all this stuff out and match everything the way I want it. Now I need a rhythm for it, and again, because I want this to be kind of like a cool bridge build-up type deal, I want big whole notes for the rhythm, you know, like it's going to emphasize after this. But, you know, it's going to hold like well, probably a G sharp, let's be honest, that or a B. Actually, you know what, it's pretty much the same thing all the way across. So I'm going to do something that randomly tends to work. We're just going to go down the scale with it, if that makes sense. So we're going to go, actually using numbers won't help, but we're going to start on the 8, right? Then we're going to, well, hold that note. Then we're going to go down to the next note, which is F sharp, so boop. And then from there, we're going to go down to E. And then we're going to try D sharp. And if it's anything like earlier, we might have to do a little bloop bloop blop thing right there. Actually, are these in the same notes? No, they're not. Okay. Very close, though. And we're just going to see how that sounds. Because again, all we did was just go down the scale. G sharp, F sharp, E, D sharp. Yeah, it needs to go up. F sharp. That's what we're going up to. Again, I don't have any vocal talents, but in my brain of brains, I can hear what I'm doing, and it makes sense to me. Maybe make that a little bit shorter. And then try that. Yeah, there we go. All right. Now, I mean, there's other cool things you could do if you really wanted. Like if I want to make this be something like that, maybe. See, that'd be kind of cool. But I really want to emphasize this because in a second I'm going to do a harmony. All right, now we're going to take all this. Well, actually, you know, I'll just say everything, but no, we're not. We're just going to take this one. And now I'm going to take the high harmony. I'm not even going to worry about the low harmony. That one's gone now. That one's dead to me. And we're going to put this here. And remember whenever we talked about in thirds, so 1, 2, 3, we're going to do that again. Let's see what we got. Yeah, sounds awesome. I need to go up. We'll bring this up to a fifth. Okay, so now everything else needs to go up. So again, the only reason I go from a third to a fifth is because those are my first two go-tos. If a third doesn't work, I go to a fifth. If a fifth doesn't work, I go to a fourth. If a fourth doesn't work, I delete the project and start a new one. So that's already a third, so we'll go up to E. So that didn't work, so we're going to go with a fourth. That did work. And I think we could just copy paste this because then I want to go back down. That should sound really cool. Actually, let's hear all the parts together. So it's going to like cut into it. Man, you know what? I don't think I can go to the solo yet, because now I kind of want to do like this. Is it this bit? No. Oh, it's this again. Let me think. All right, hang on. I gotta think a second. All right. I'm gonna use just the rhythm section. How about that? We're gonna take this. You know what? And then we're gonna use this for our solo. So we're gonna grab all this crap. Because I like this rhythm. I want to really accent it. I want people to hear it and be like, wow, that rhythm was really cool. I didn't notice it when he played it earlier because his mixing is really bad and I couldn't hear it over the lead guitar or the drum. So that'll be where the solo starts, is on this. Now, I guess to try and better explain out like why I think it would work better to have something here instead of just solo. I in my mind, because this is all slow, but I want, you know, the drums and bass and everything are to be slow during this part, like halftime fill. Maybe, you know, something like that maybe. But then we're going to get to here where the harmony kicks in, and then just like straight 16th double bass drum. So like, and just go like here, back. or whatever. That was me hitting my chest like Tarzan, by the way, because I'm a gigantic man-child. But that's the best way I can explain what I was thinking. Generally, whenever I write solos, I try and write 2 solos per song. I like the idea of like 2 guitarists being in a band soloing together. One usually does like maybe the slow, melodic, cool, whatever type deal. Like he might not be necessarily the better of the 2. Like the one's the fast guy. He's the one that does all the fast stuff. And then the other guy is like well, I can't necessarily keep up with that, but I can make it sound cool and pretty. So, it'd be something like slides and things like that. All right. I believe I've got it. I'm all right with this one. So the opening part, it was actually the same thing I was playing around with whenever I started, which is just playing around with the major key. It's well, I'm in drop D, so you know what? I'm gonna switch to the acoustic. Hang on. That type of deal. So here we go with this. Actually, I won't even play along. I'll let you hear it. Right, that makes sense. So this is, as I already explained, and the same actually with this, but then I cut back over, and this one I kind of focus more on the minor pentatonic scale, which is just... It's nothing incredibly complex, so it's just... And then something I try and include in every solo, just kind of like a little take I do for whatever reason, is something doing the... If you look at any of my covers where I have a solo, I generally have something that does that. Even random things, like I'll have, I'll be playing like something, and then there'll be a quick little lead, and I'll just be like... Which I can't really do as well in this acoustic. But just something like that, I always sneak that in for some reason. I just kind of like doing it. I'll try and sneak in that and like a... type deal, which is just kind of a nod to my old band. So as I said, I like to try and give the illusion of like a dual guitar setup, and one's like the quicker one, one's the more try to make the song sound pretty because they can't play as fast. So we got that guy that's doing that, and then we get the speedy guy, which does this one. And again, this is all just rooted in the pentatonic minor scale of G sharp, which is one of the easiest, not just G sharp, but the pentatonic minor scales. Easiest scale to learn, and if you're just trying to kind of noodle over the top of somebody playing something, if you know what scale they're in, it's going to work. Like I mean, a lot of people look down on it kind of as like the amateur go-to, but I always think it's really cool. I always enjoy playing around in it because, again, it is simple, but it's also just something I can just chill and, lean back and do whatever and just kind of play along with a song, even if I don't fully know what they're going to do next. That, and because I don't really know many bluesy style licks, which I think would be a pretty neat thing. I might start trying to work on that next. But anyway, yeah, this isn't... I know I can play this now, so I'm not worried about it, but whenever it comes time to recording, I'll see how I still feel about it. But it doesn't seem like anything too over the top. A lot of hammer on pull off, and yeah, that's fine. I'll be fine. Cuts to me deleting the thing because I can't play it, or just all of a sudden you'll notice, wait, that's not the same solo Jordan wrote. That's it. He had it do like he had to do a really fast thing, but instead he just went, and that was it. All right. What do I do now? Oh, right. So I want to bring this into something else, because we can't just end on a solo doing this. Let's do a chorus again. The chorus, quote unquote. Copy all. Is there a reason I'm choosing this one in particular? Well, I've described it as the chorus, and I always think a solo goes pretty well after it ends to then cut into a big chorusy bit. Yeah, that works fine. Now then, this is still a relatively short song, and I like to try and get to about 2 minutes, 2 minutes 30 seconds, or more. You know, I'm fine having like a 28-minute song, but God forbid it's a minute and 59 seconds. So I do want to elongate this song a bit, so I might put in like a bit of a breakdown, and then I want to end on... Actually, I want to end on this. In fact, I might even put in a key change, which the key change I do is a step up, which I know is like, oh no, more theory talk for people that don't know, but I promise, simple. Step up from is one note, so instead of going, we're just going to go, and I promise it'll sound cool. Alright, so admittedly I did a little bit more than I expected before showing it, but here's what I did. I followed the same idea I did here, where I just played just the rhythm part, but I did it from this. Right? So just the part I want to end on, but it's just the whole notes. And I'm going to have like some cool bass part over this, right? You know, kind of like either doing higher notes or just kind of like a, you know, some like a little bit more just bass focused stuff, you know, just kind of let that shine through a little bit. And then from there, I'm doing the same thing, but working on the triplet parts. Right? So it's by itself. And then it's going to conclude on it doing that. And now next, I want it to go into the harmonies again. So let me find where that was. I didn't want to get too much further on my own. I just had that idea, and I wanted to hurry and write it out before I either lost it or just forgot and did something else. So now, oh wait, I'm going to take all, no, not all of it. I'm going to take this. You know what? I don't have anything written there yet, so yeah, I'll take everything. I was going to make the key change be here, but actually, you know what? I'm going to take all of this real quick. Or actually, wait, I should already have it copy-pasted. Okay, there. I'm going to take this harmony out, right? Hang on. And this whole section is going to be 8th notes, maybe? It's either going to be 8th or 6th. I think it's going to be 8th. If you have a note on here and you hit C, it just copies it, which is which is neat, which is a fishnet. If you press C, a fish will swim by, and Guitar Pro will catch it for you. Yeah, so I want to do that, and I will be right back. Alright, you know what? I'm going to change this up a little bit. I'm going to maybe try and use this note. I'll try and put that in for, like, not even half. Like, maybe 1.5? Or did I just still do half anyway? Well, we'll find out. Right here, I think, is where it needs to change. Yeah, that's cool. Alright, so I'm going to do that. And actually, it restarts here, right? Yeah, I'm going to do that again. Alright, you know what? Screw it. So this is what I'm going to do now for the ending part. Ta-da! Now is whenever the key change happens. So what does that mean? Well, I kind of already explained it. I'm just going to bring everything up one step. So we're like 8. 8 now becomes 9. We're leaving the scale for this because the bringing it up one step is bringing it to the next scale, which if we are in G sharp, that now means we are in A minor, to be specific. And if we're in B major, that means we are now in, as you can see up here at the top of this, C. All right. Now enough of that. I just have to change all of these up, every note up 1. Man, doesn't it sound pretty? All right, now I'm going to do the same thing with the leads. So we're at 11, going to bring us up to 12. 9, bring it up to 10, and so on and so forth. All right, so I had a stupid idea. I decided to do another key change where now I go up even higher, you know, because it's going to start, well, actually use this one as the example. We start on 7, then we move up to 8, then we move up to 9, right? And I'm just going to end on a whole note because this is going to be the end of the song. But I want this to be even faster than these parts, so I'm going to probably just play single notes, and I'm going to bring this up to 16th. Because, yeah. That's my only reason, yeah. Alright, now I'm going to finish this. There we go. So now it is time for me to put down the bass. Why the bass next, you ask? Because I want that to be, as people would say, the foundation of the song. People say that a lot. Not everybody knows what it means when they say it. Sometimes they just want to support the bass guitar. And they're like, oh, bass guitar is the foundation. It's important. Which, yes and no, is true. But the job of the bass is important. The way that the bass is used is not, that's what's important, not the bass itself. So a competent bass player is important. We'll say that. Now, the job, of the bass is to transition between the drums the drums and the guitar. But that doesn't mean we can't play around and make some cool stuff happen. We don't have to follow the rhythm guitar. So I know I want a cool, I don't know, like a slower drum, like, I don't want like a or whatever going on. I just want like a nice slow beat. So I want a drum or a bass to kind of accent that. So G sharp. Now again, we are in drop D for this instead of C. And then to remind people, I don't have the highest note on my string. So you might see like notes be like 3, 4, 5 on the third string. And also it's like 13 or something because I can't play on the highest. Because again, the tab is broken and I can't tune it. So yeah, we're just going to put like a little thing here. Usually it'd be like a cool bass fill, maybe something like, instead of just being like whole note, it'd be like boom, boo, boo, doo, or something, weird. But I'm just going to do one note after making this a dotted whole note? I don't know. I'll be honest, I'm not Dream Theater. It does confuse me whenever I'm working in 8/4. So. Yeah, that's good. We'll just bring it up to that. Needs to be a little higher, so we'll try E. And this is my whole reason for thinking this, by the way. So if this works, or any of them work, my method isn't, music theory tells me this works. Although I guess it could, because if we look, G sharp drops down to E, which is a third, so therefore it should fit, as well as B, which is also the major scale that we're in. But so you could use music theory for this, but right now I'm using, as I keep calling it, Operation What Sounds Cool in my head. Yeah, and then E, B, C sharp, D sharp. All right, we're gonna do the same thing. The next thing down would be C sharp, so bop, and then B, up a third again, all right, let's see how this sounds. All right, so I want to go like boom, bum, bum. So C sharp, D sharp. So I'll probably go back to C sharp. Da, da, da. Again, I'm sorry that I have zero vocal talents, but I promise in my head I know exactly what I'm doing. Yeah, and then, so it's just like up one. And that's where stuff might start speeding up a little bit, so the bass might just be like, bum, 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 or whatever I'm doing. So like this. Right? No, that's too fast. I apologize. Yeah, and then we're just going to do the same thing with the number 2 and the 2 and then 4 and 6. So let's do it. And that's going to follow the rhythm for sure. I don't need anything specifically crazy for that. It's just going to be what it does. I kind of want like a little bass fill there, like boo doo doo doo, something going straight down with it. If you haven't noticed, my go-to whenever I'm trying to go up a note is always to go one string up. That's always my first thing I do. Why? There's no reason, again, just what I do. Alright, then I do a little quicker. Doo-doo. Maybe just go straight down like this. Ba, 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 ba. It actually kind of worked. What if I leave... Because it leaves the scale a little bit here, right? So what if we go to G? There. Yeah, no, that works. I'm totally cool with that. I probably cut most of that, me making this part out, so I'm going to go ahead and just play it again. Yep. Cool. Oh yeah, because my guitar is in drop D, again, those are the parts I cut out. I play the exact notes on this. Yeah, I think this is just going to follow this as well. Because I want to make sure the triplets, everything including the drum, or... Yeah, like I want the bass, to be following that. Alright, so I've got most of that already done. But this section, I don't want... Let's see. Because this has, was B all the way across, but then it goes, I want it to kind of emphasize on the bass that it's also transitioning here, kind of like another bass fill to conclude it. But I don't want to switch to F sharp, so I'm probably just going to bring it up an octave. Now, again, here's where the issue comes with me not having the highest string on a bass. Because I would just go up to 4, which is bop, bop, but I can't, so I'm going to have to bring it to 9. But that's alright, I can play that. That's not much of a change at all. Must be... So yeah, that'll be fine. And then... Alright, so this is going to be doing that. I always, whenever I have something like this, again, following what people like Brennan Small do, rather than worrying about all the technical, quote-unquote technical, stuff going on here, I'm going to have the bass follow the root, which is just the G sharp, and then here the B. So, basically it's going to look like this. Not that, this. And then B. Like that. Do I kind of want to have it do this, the bop bop again? Because that might work. That'd be cool. Hang on. Yeah, there we go. Another transition, but using the same idea here. And we already know what to put there because we did it once, so we're just going to copy and paste this over. Basically, the idea of what I was doing there, although you wouldn't be able to hear it, so I'm going to have cut that part anyway. Or I'm hitting the main note, but then I want to end it, each section, with like a doon-doon type deal. So I just kind of brought it up a little bit whenever I did each section. So it's stuff like this. Now see what I did next. Because again, it's just going down the notes. But so. Yeah, alright. Now I know that, I'm going to write that in. We're going to follow the same pattern of doon doon. Actually, no. Maybe not. We might bring... I could use an octave. You know what? I might play with octaves with this. So I'm going to go with eighth notes all the way across first, just to... Or no, I should go with quarter notes, because that's too fast again, isn't it? That'd be cool in the later section, but not yet. So yeah, we're going to go with these. Da-do-do. Yeah, there we go. Because I was thinking originally having it just do something like... Or, yeah, because that's... Alright, I'll try and explain it on Guitar Pro because I can't show you my guitar. So we got this, G sharp, right? And the next note in the next tab is going to be F sharp. So I was going to have it go G sharp, F sharp, right? but then it would be this note early. So, but if I bring it up an octave, it's going to go G sharp, high G sharp, high F sharp, low F sharp. So the idea here should be that this works all the way across the board. Because then next we're going to go to E. So we're going to go right? And then the note after E is going to be D sharp. So we're going to go, we're on E right now. Then we're going to go to high E, then high D sharp, then normal D sharp. But it does, oh, it changes the halfway point. So here. No. It doesn't. It's a dotted half note. So yeah, it'll be 3 notes. I kind of want it to go maybe up. Right? Because I want it to, I don't want it to just stop doing these whenever it's going to transition again. The octaves. Yeah, that's great. That works. Because the remainder of the bass follows what the rhythm guitars did, or I'm having it do that, yeah, I just went ahead and filled everything else in. Guitar Pro, I can go ahead and turn this off. Has a couple ways that it goes about doing drums. With all things, you've got standard notation if you prefer. See, standard notation is going to place on there and hit enter. But anyway, I'm going to go to drums. I don't use standard notation much. I do occasionally if I'm working with piano. Guitar, I work with tablature. Actually, string instruments in general, I work with tablature. That's just easier for me. Vocals, I'll do, like if it's a vocal melody, I'll use standard notation. Drums, I use tablature, because I know drum tablature. 35 is the bass I use. The main ones I'm going to be using are like 49, 47, which are my crash, 51, which is my ride, 48, 47, 45, 43, and 41 are the toms, 38 is my snare, 46 is open hi-hat, 42 is closed. I think 44 is the standard, but I never use that. 52 should be the the China. Yeah. All right, so yeah. Anyway, now I know that. So we're coming in from the acoustics. And because of how the ending is elongated, like it opens for, you know, it doesn't go down, it goes up. Like it's waiting for the next part, so I don't want to put it in like a drum part in the middle of that's like doo, 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 or whatever. I want to go ahead and just start out with it, and we're going to start out with it heavy. So maybe just kind of like, I like that the open hi hat because I like the ride sound or the thrashy sound of it. Or yeah, or wait, oh crap, I have to be thinking in 8/4 again. Yeah, and I want it to be heavier, so I want, you know, like, yeah, you know what, I'm going to just triple it, maybe? Or quadruple? 4 of them? I don't know. We're going to find out here in a second. One more. Yeah, I like that. And a tom, maybe? Floor tom? No, snare. Yeah. All right, so we got that. I'm going to go ahead and throw that down on the next part and see how that fits as well. Okay, next issue. A lot of my drum doing is going to be insane. There is no logic behind it. It is me in my mind just being like, a beatbox kind of alongside it, if that makes sense. And then just stuff it's like, oh, bass drums would sound cool here. Oh, bass drums here. How can I put bass drums in this part? And then it's like, cymbals, they keep beat, right? There's just be, you know. I'm a crazy person whenever it comes to these. But the bass drum, I keep trying to find ways to do more of these. Ooh, it needs a second one of those. maybe that. Yeah. And then we could just double those up. Oh yeah, so you'll also probably notice where I write everything. I've got a certain place I do it. Generally, the first string, I always put my bass. You don't have to do it. You can put it wherever you want. Like, you can have a bass up here if you want. But I generally put it on the lowest. I think electric drum is 36. Yeah. I generally have it on the first string. The second string I usually keep for toms and snares. If they go on top, I just bring one up. Hi-hats, rides, those all splash cymbals. Those go here. If there's any additional, I put them here. And then I put my crash cymbals here, as well as the china. It's just the way I streamline things. Again, I'm a creature of habit. I've got things the way I do it, and I focus it. I'm also very ADD about making sure I switch between the two crash and trying to make sure there's an even number. Like it'll be 49, 57, 49, 57, etc. But the reason I'm getting to that is because I want to... Yeah, I want to replace these with... There. So it'll be like that. Maybe not this one this time. Okay, cool. So we're still good with this setup for now. Alright, so I want this to speed up because, again, that was the whole point of this whenever we wrote it initially. So I'm just going to go ham with these snares and see what happens. Oh, yep, it's going to turn into a sleigh bell. That's what happens. If you hit snares too fast, it turns into sleigh bells and freaking Santa shows up and joins your band. It's awesome. Yeah, okay, cool. Da, 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 da. I want the snare to hit on those whole notes, or not the whole notes, but the beat, like, you know, the melody. Because again, I'm not a drummer, but I love the bass drum because, well, one, it's cool, and that's what's always the most important in music, is it's cool. But also, I think it's good for keeping the speed, whereas I like, again, the cymbals for keeping the actual tempo. Well, I guess everything kind of keeps the tempo, but you know what I mean. Like, even on the offbeat, a lot of times I'll still try and make the cymbals and stuff stay on beat, which is weird. But yeah, I want something kind of like this, because I want the speed to continue. I don't want it to sound like it's like da 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 da, and that's it. I want it to da da ba ba do 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 do. There we go. I went ahead and replaced these crash cymbals after listening back on these hi-hats to kind of keep this flow going. Like that. The last one I changed was this, because again, as I mentioned, I'm anal about it being 49, 57, etc. for whatever reason. So, yeah, I've got that here. Okay, so then it'll hit there. Yeah. Again, I'm weird about how I do this stuff. And again, I'll probably have like rides to keep the beat. I don't need one there because I've got that. Yeah, I'm fine with that. And again, a drum fill, I generally going to use bass, snare, and toms for all of those. A lot of times I like to do this where it's like, you know, or whatever, something quick like bass, snare, bass, like 4 bass, 4 snare, 4 bass, or 2 bass. So something like this, because I think a lot of times stuff like this sounds cool. Also, it shouldn't be at that speed, it should be at that speed. Because if I had it at the other speed, it would sound like this. Which is a bit much. That's cool, other than I did not fill the bars. So... there we go. Man, that's weird, but I don't hate it. Alright, so yeah, basically what I did is I ended this with a couple like quick snares there. It sounds a little strange, but I kind of like it, so I'm going to just keep it and see what happens. So now that it's going to be going to the triplets, I want to focus more on the main beat of everything. So I'm going to switch from rides back to crash cymbals, or not crash, open hi-hats, to basically describe everything I did here. Like I said, I switched the rides over to open hi-hat, then triplets with the bass, but then I wanted floor toms to emphasize the first beat. I actually picked that up as a trick from, again, Brendan Small, I mentioned him earlier, on Mermaider from Death Clock, from the first Death album, because on every triplet, and I know a lot of people do it, but the first hit on everyone is a low floor, and I like that extra oomph to it. And then I think the same thing. Yeah, should be the same thing again. I want to keep this going in triplets. Perfect. So now it's time for probably 16th notes on the bass, or the bass drum. Really, gonna speed everything up and elp. I'm gonna get a bunch of elk together, and that's it. I wouldn't hunt them because I don't have the heart for that, but if I did, I'd have so many elk. Okay, it doesn't really do anything else here, so I might do like a cymbal thing. So like that. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Now time for the rides. Oh, no, not that one. That one. Yeah. Alright, so I'm going to focus... A lot of times I like to do the standard... It's used a lot in power metal, which is... boot that, like, do that, do that, do that, do that, do that, which is bass, snare, bass, bass, snare, bass, snare, bass, bass, snare, so... or whatever. So I'm going to do that, but in halftime fill. Yeah, you know what? Forget it. I'm not going to do that, do that, do that. I'm going to go do that. Because I want to follow that. Now, this is going to be one of those parts where you get to put in just like a bunch of cool like fills for the drum, you know, really. Because we're playing slow parts. It's the drum has to sound cool. We might even bring it to we'll bring it to the fast stuff. We'll do a snare, toms. We'll do floor toms. Not quite what I had in mind. How about that? And we'll emphasize these first beats with the bass. Yeah, see, cool. I use cool very liberally, by the way, if you haven't noticed. We'll just screw around, but put some bass, some snares. No, what if I triplet? I'll do, actually, it already should be enough, too. Or tuplet, not triplet. Like that, maybe? Yeah. Alright, so the next part I'm going to add, it's actually something I learned, I believe it would be probably the Rev, the old drummer who passed away from Avenged Sevenfold, actually. Does or I can't say does a lot, but I've heard him do it before, which I always thought was really cool. I think he does it on God, what is this song even called? It's from the White Album, from the self-titled album. Almost Easy. And like some quick little thing that kind of focuses on just like a quick, I don't know what you'd call it, hi-hat drum type deal. Boop, boop. All right. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I like that. I'm alright with that. And now the part, because we're going into the harmony, I want to go into straight double bass again. So we're going to go back to focusing on the heavier stuff. I'm going to have because again, this is supposed to really be focused on that instead of having the snare just follow blindly what that's doing. We're going to kind of do... Yeah, we're not going to do it on that one. We're going to do it on the next one. And I'm going to use some closed hi-hats. Why not? What if I put another snare there? Yeah, no, I like it better without it. I have decided. It has been determined. So now for this final little fill area before we go into the next area, I'm just going to kind of give the illusion that it's speeding up a little bit, and then let the snare really speed up. Yeah. So it's like the second hit is telling the listener, okay, it's time to speed it up a little bit, and then by the time we hit these four, it's not going to be like, whoa, where'd that come from? At least, again, that's what my mind tells me. And then end strong. There you go, have that little bass at the bottom to really emphasize that ending. Alright, that should be the whole song, so, that is how I go about making it, but we'll go ahead and listen to the whole thing. But anybody that did watch, thank you. Thank you for 100 subscribers, I guess, because that's, again, what this is going to be used for. Which, again, not a milestone to everybody, but to me it's a neat thing to have. I know I've got, this is my first music channel I really started doing stuff with was in 2007, so it's been a while since I really got back into this, and then I've been doing this for a couple years now. And I've had a lot of just random YouTube channels in between. Some I still regularly do stuff with, just not necessarily music. But this is what this is about. I'm not going to go and start just plugging all my other crap that is also crap. I'm just going to say thank you again for 100, and I think that's everything. So without further ado, I will be uploading this MIDI with the video. It'll be in the description, or it should. If not, somebody please tell me in the comments. But here we go. Oh, also, there'll be a link to the actual video, since by this point, the point of it being uploaded, it should already be done.